So the Detroit Lions, after a plethora of trades, got their final pick of the 2024 NFL Draft. And we got done a little earlier than we expected, drafting 210, taking a guard, Christian Mahogany. Now, this is a 6th-round pick. For the first time in Brad Holmes' time as Detroit Lions general manager, we do not have a 7th-round pick, so that might bode well for this year. We have 7-round picks. One of them is on the practice squad. One of them is no longer on the team. And Antoine Green, which was the last one picked, has a legitimate chance to make the 53-man roster. So let's do what we've been doing all draft long. And a lot of these guys that we've been looking at their scores are in the 80s. They're almost all the same, as ads are insane. His 40 time, not the fastest dude, but he's a guard, right? 83.8. Let's look at his strengths. If we look at the graph, like you should know this by now, a lot of greens. 10-yard, shuttle, broad jump, a lot of greens. What's the most negative thing? As a matter of fact, he really doesn't have a single red. The deepest we get is like a deep orange, so that's great. That's great. Up there, near elite in hands, elite vertical, near elite in 40. 3-cone in the middle, arms in the middle, weight in the middle. So not a bad pickup. I'm thinking that this is going to be something potential future for the Detroit. With him being a 6th-round pick, though, not sure if we're looking at longevity here or somebody that Jacoby Sorsdahl was taken in the 5th round last year, so we will see. Here's a scouting report. It says Christian Mahogany has carved out a reputation as a formidable interior lineman, which is one of the needs we had, showcasing the raw power and aggression needed to dominate in the trenches. His ability to leverage his size and strength against opponents make him an asset in the run game. So that's more run stuffers. Where he excels at opening, or he's not a run stuffer, he's a run maker, at opening lanes and bulldozing defenders. Despite this, Mahogany's game isn't without its flaws. His inconsistencies in footwork and tendency to overcommit expose him to savvy rushers. And his spatial awareness, that's not what that is, but it's okay, is in pass protection needs refinement. However, his tendency and ability to bounce back from an ACL injury demonstrate a resilience and work ethic that cannot be understated. So here, this here is an ongoing thing. It really is. I mean, I know y'all get mad at me, but I just state the facts. As team asset, what is this supposed to be? As teams assess Mahogany's draft stock, they weigh his undeniable impact in the run game against his pass protection vulnerabilities. Looks like the Detroit Lions are trying to create holes for David Montgomery and maybe Jahmyr Gibbs. With the right coaching and scheme fit, Mahogany has the makings of a solid NFL starter. Teams willing to invest in his development could find themselves with a linchpin on their offensive line, a player whose sheer force and dedication can set the tone for their ground attack. So there's a lot of things that I have seen over the course of this NFL draft, which we already knew. I mean, you're talking about sheer force, dedication, right coaching and scheme fit. There's a lot of project in this NFL draft outside of the top 2 picks. But you've been hearing the same thing. Man. High motor, aggression, right? What I see here, and we've already known that, is football players, right? These are guys that, and again, both Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell said the same thing. Talent is not going to get you on the Detroit Lions. There are other intangibles, other things that you must have. Does that mean we're going to win games? Does that mean that this guy is going to turn into a future starter? It could. Right now, he's not it. He's not that. But we don't need him to be right now because we got a whole season before decisions have to be made on the current offensive lineman that we have. You know, Kevin only signed a 1-year deal. So overall, as the NFL draft is over, I'm going to say I give it a A-. Not that I wasn't happy with the first 2 picks. It is that now I realize that Brad Holmes is allergic to defensive ends. He has 2 that were classified as defensive ends in the NFL draft. Aiden Hutchinson, and they tell me that Josh Pascal is a swing, DEDT, but a pure defensive end. He's only drafted one, and his name is Aiden Hutchinson, and ironically, he is the best player on the team. So in defense of Brad Holmes, I will say this, maybe when he does decide to pull the trigger again on a defensive end, he'll be worth every bit of Aiden Hutchinson. Maybe that's what he's waiting on. We shall see. I just hope that we can get to the quarterback this year because we are not going to win games if we can't do that. So let me know your thoughts. What would you grade the NFL draft? Thank you for being with me, those who were. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.